Numbers for Africa is because Africa has something that is unique.
Yes.
And if I'm allowed to romanticize, as a guest must be allowed. If I'm allowed latitude, as a guest must be allowed. Allow me to imagine that on the day of creation, if you allow me a little latitude and a little blasphemy, the Bible records that the world was void and without form. And when they formed it, the heavens must have said, in this Africa, we must give her everything. And they gave that Africa gold in South Africa. And the heavens and the angels did not stop there. They were not satisfied. They ascended into Namibia. And they said, Namibia, we must give you diamond. And the fishes in the Atlantic Ocean. And they did not stop there. They went to Angola. And they said, you little Angola, we cannot stop there. And they gave Angola oil. And they did not stop there, these heavenly beings. They went into Mozambique. And they did not stop there. They went into Malawi and Zambia, and they gave Africa copper there. And they did not stop there. But when they got to Congo, they were a little bit more generous. Congo, they were very generous with Congo. And they said, you Congo, we are going to give you a river, which if you harness will generate electricity for the entire Africa. And they gave it the river Congo. But they did not stop there. They said, you Congo, we are going to give you forests like no other in the world, but they did not stop there. They said, we are going to give you an element which in future will give every human being the opportunity to have a mobile phone. The rare earth, the Congo has the largest deposit, and they did not stop there. They went to Niger, and they gave them uranium, and they did not stop there. They went to West Africa and they said, you who are lovers of coffee, will give you coffee and we'll give you cocoa. And they gave them cocoa. And they did not stop there. They went to Kenya and they said, you who are lovers of tea and coffee, we'll give you tea. Africa is blessed in a unique way with resources that the world scrambles for. And they started scrambling for them.
Yes, kings and queens, ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, this is our continent, the continent that we need to make it great again. I have taken samples of resources found in different regions, as you see. Of course, we have a lot of minerals, a lot of resources, but these are just samples. So in the south, we have gold. In South Africa, I've taken this as a sample. Of course, I know we have lithium in Zimbabwe here, lithium. Of course, we have oil in Mozambique, we have diamond in Namibia, we have copper in Zambia, we have tanzanite in Tanzania, we have tea in Kenya, we have cotton in Sudan, we have also grain in Ethiopia, and we have also rare earth and coltan in the Democratic Republic of Congo and in Central Africa. We have gold in Ghana, gold in Burkina Faso, gold also in Mali. We have cotton in Mali, in Burkina Faso. We have uranium in Niger. Of course, even cotton is found in, is grown in Niger. We have oil here in Nigeria. We have lithium also in Ghana here. We have oil in Senegal. We have iron in Mauritania. We have oil in Libya, grain and wheat in Egypt here. We have wheat here. So these are just samples, but we have a lot in this continent. But the question is, why with all these resources, with all these things, the continent of Africa is still poor? Also, Africa has given oil here at the middle, so you can see how wealth was distributed in the continent of Africa. Africa has oil here, in the eastern part, southern east, to distribute in this region. Africa has gold for this region and also has copper for this region. Africa has oil for this region, here and here. Africa has oil in the northern part to distribute in this area. Africa has cotton here to distribute, to make sure that the people of Africa can manufacture their clothes in this area. Has cotton here. Africa has cotton also here. You see, Africa has cotton here. God went far and given Africa rivers. You see here, we have river Orange, we have river Zambezi here, we have river Rufiji in this area, we have river Nile, this one, you see, we have river Congo. All these are resources given to Africans. Africa has river Niger here, and river between Gambia and Senegal. So, apart from this, there are so many things found in the continent of Africa. God has given Africa with life in this region. Here, we have Serengeti, national parks, we have Kilimanjaro mountain, tallest mountain in Africa, you see, Masai Mara in Kenya, where wildlife. If you go to this area and find wildlife, you see, Africa has given everything, but we are busy praying, fasting for things that we have already given. Why Africans? We are not using these things. Instead, we are fasting and praying to go outside of our Eden. This is the Eden that has been given by God, but we are fasting to go somewhere else, the place where we don't know. So, what I want to share with you is why Africans, despite of being given all these resources, we are still poor. Africa is poor because of division. Number one. Africa, we are divided into languages. Africa, we are divided into religion. See, we are speaking different languages, we are believing in different religions. And also, we have something called geopolitical. Here, where you find things like francophone, anglophone, you see, lusophone. Here nowadays we have Chinaphone. You see, let us start with language. You see, this geopolitical has created this language division. The people in this region, many of them, Africa in this region, are speaking France or French. If you go in this area, you find Africans speaking English. I'm talking about South Africa, go to Namibia, go to East Africa, go to Zambia, and also here, of course, we know the East African countries, they came with Swahili, they speak Swahili, and also here we have people in Mozambique speaking Portuguese. You see, we have here also we have Africans in Guinea who are speaking Spanish. In this region, people are speaking Arabic. You see, up to these areas, except Ethiopia. So you can see how the continent is divided. So if we have someone who is intellectual in this area, it is difficult for him or her to communicate with someone here who are speaking whether Swahili or Portuguese or speaking English. So these people cannot communicate. So how can we create wealth? How can we do business? if we are not speaking one language, if we are not communicating each other very easily. That is how language affecting and make Africans poor. People in this area are speaking Arabic. They cannot communicate with the people in this area. So if there is a demand of services from this area to this area, it will be difficult. That's why you see in South Africa, it is very easy to go to Europe to find experts to come to South Africa to do business, to do work, to invest. Why? Because it is difficult to find someone here who are French speaking, because these people will not understand. They will not communicate very easily. If we have Arabs who are intellectual, they cannot communicate with someone here. So Arabs are looking into the Middle East. Middle East. You see, this is how language is undermining our developments. So we have all these resources. Maybe there's someone in the region who is expert, who can make wonders in these resources. But because of language barriers, we are not communicating. Those are just for languages. Of course, we have many reasons why Africa is poor, but these are just a few of them. Go to religions. The same to this area. If you go to these areas, you find these are Islams. You see? You find Islam here in this area of Africa. If you come to this somewhere here, Ethiopia, they have their own Orthodox Ethiopian religion. They have their own religion in Ethiopia. If you come to this, you find Christians. But here in the eastern part, you find Islam also, Islam or Islamic. Here you find Christian. So in Christianity or Islam, these people are not communicating. They believe different. Here in Islam or Islamic, they believe in Prophet Muhammad, while in Christian they believe in Jesus Christ. So these people are not communicating. You cannot keep intellectuals. One is Islam, other is Christian. They cannot talk. They are competing each other. So it is difficult. That's why you see even in our public offices in Africa, people are not doing very well because of religions. Religions are dividing them. Even if you are coming from one family, maybe for instance me and my young brother, or with my elder brother, if someone is in one side of maybe Islam or Christian, and maybe myself in the other side of the religion, maybe Islam or Christian, if we differ, we cannot speak with one language. Even the way we do things, it looks like we are different. And through that, religions are dividing Africans much even than languages. But also in this religion, you will find that those who are more Christians are speaking English, French, and also it means they use European languages. Those who are Islam, they use Arabic. You see? They use Arabic. So it is difficult for these people, intellectuals, to come together. That's why you may ask, we have intellectuals in Africa. Why these intellectuals are doing well in Europe, in America, in Middle East, but these intellectuals cannot do better in their own countries or in Africa? That's the reason that religions are dividing Africa. Also, I have spoken about geopolitical. We have these Francophone countries, Also, these Francophone countries also are speaking different languages. If you are Francophone and the Anglophone and the Lusophone, it means you are using language according to your colonial master. So you see this geopolitical how to divide Africans. So we cannot come together and do things that is better for our resources, for our development. So that's why you see the people of Africa are poor. So, but in the region, one thing that maybe I will talk this in another day, we have been told not to think about this continent. They have created somewhere here called heaven. So instead of focusing here, we are focusing somewhere here as Africans. So we don't think about how we can develop, how we can use this water, but we have been told that, please, you Africa, don't add value. The God is here. God has been created gold here. There's things, tools, diamonds, good things here. If you find a wife, you find a beautiful wife here. We have been told. Of course, we need to discuss this issue to change our mind to our fellow Africans about the issue of religion. How we have been told. All of us, we know, we have attended different sessions of religions when we are still young, and we have been told many stories, imaginary stories, but all in all, it is to create us, to change our mind, instead of focusing on these resources, to focus in somewhere else, and that area is not in the world, it is somewhere else in the sky. But all in all, these are just reasons that make Africans poor, despite of all these resources given by God, but Africans, we are still poor. But if we can come together, we can find language that can unite us. Language. We can have one religion. We can be more Africaphone than Anglophone, Francophone, Lusophone, Chinaphone. To be Africaphone, it will help us to add value, to see how we can do in our natural resources. We lack nothing, but we are divided in such a way we cannot add, we cannot share, we cannot communicate, we cannot exchange ideas. So, kings and queens, this is so, my dear kings and queens, with this lesson, the Africa we want. For today, I think it is enough. Let me say thank you for your time. We'll continue to share if we get a chance to share. We'll share more things. The aim is to build the Africa that all of us we want. With those few points, let me say thank you for your time. See you next time. Thank you.